So, if you'll come stand beside the work of art, I'll get a overall. Ooh, that blue is so pretty in the sun. Okay, this is my friend Martha Barton, and look what she has made Dita and me. And she is going to tell us about it.
I wanted to do something for Rex and Dita for the things they left behind.
When we moved?
When you moved to Covenant?
Yes.
And so it was an established home place for a long time. Children raised, and they don't figure into this, but but I know Rex and Dita as fully fledged adults, so it's my knowledge of them and my experiences with them and some of the stories that Rex and Dita have shared. And they were easy to sculpt. So, and some of these pieces are just fillers because you need fillers to have a break between the objects. So the finial is just a finial. And it doesn't look like it has a lot of work to it, but there's several layers, and the yellow just kind of got faded away because glaze will melt, and you can't predict how it melts sometimes. And so it covered more of the yellow than I'd like. And so there are a couple of colors of blue, and I think blue is a lucky color, and it's also an outside color. So that's the finial. And the blue cow is because of the restaurant that Rex and Dita used to go to. And y'all have taken us there too.
Yes, we have.
So that's the cow with, let's say that this is a stylized udder. And it is. This is just another filler with a different shape. We could say it's an Indian basket turned upside down, but it's just a shape.
Okay, let's do.
Okay. All right. This is another filler, but it also, you have to have the fillers to give some space between the pieces because of the height of that.
Right.
So maybe Escher could have figured something else that would fit perfectly in there, some fish or something, baby. But these are feathers and wind.
And wind.
Uh-huh. And then this is Anxious Annie.
Anxious Annie.
So some of these I've never met, like Anxious Annie, but we were at your house on your patio years ago. Has Annie been around that long?
Yeah.
And you had climbing morning glories, and Annie had made a nest in a flower basket, a hanging flower basket. So yeah, so I've had some experience with her. So morning glories and tendrils.
Okay. Climbing morning glories.
And can you see the little eggs?
Oh, the little blue eggs.
And so
where did you get those?
I made them.
Oh, you made those?
Yeah, this is some
from
time.
scratch.
Yeah, there was thought. Some of which you miss. You don't see the eggs down in there. And some assembly required post kiln because the glaze wants to stick to glaze, but it's unpredictable, so there's a lot of Gorilla Glue inside.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the bird is Gorilla Glued to the nest, and the eggs are, and some of the tendrils. And these are just, see, glaze wouldn't give any flexibility, but Gorilla Glue will.
Now, you reached in and moved something. What was it?
Morning Glory. Yeah, and so some of these are just dropped in because I made them and I thought they were too fat. But I had them, so you can take them out if you want to. Leave them in, take them out.
Okay.
And
tell me about the nest.
There's nothing to say about the nest. It's just a shape. And
how did you put the texture on there?
Oh, potter's tools they're either plastic or metal, and they are toothed. And then this probably was done with something that looks like it's metal and it looks like a broom, but it's metal bristles coming out of it. And when you want to put pieces of clay together, then you have to rough them up. So you use that to rough it up.
Okay.
Take watered down clay called, I can't even give me the word. See, I hadn't practiced this. Slip. Put a little slip on it. Rough the other piece you want to stick to. Put a little slip on that. Cram them together, and they want to stick together. So I used that. I don't even know the name of the tool. This is all self-taught. You understand? So I stumble on. I go to Hobby Lobby. That Jesus loving Hobby Lobby. Do you have Hobby Lobby out here?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in one?
Yeah.
They're playing hymns at you the whole
I know.
time. Okay. They have all kinds of things in there that you can use off label for clay. So I fixed some things up there. This is just pretty. That's it. Pretty colors.
Now, did you form each of these little?
You just roll little balls, stick them on.
Okay, but you had to put blue paint on each one too, right?
Glaze. My
Glaze?
son.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, and then this one bears a little. It's a filler, but again, I'm not Escher, so I can't fit something perfectly in there. And I think you need a break between things to look at. It just gets. It puts too much tax, I think, on the viewer to have too much information come in their way.
Okay.
So the burden of communication is on the sender. And so I'm sending this in bits and bytes with some spacers. So that's a spacer, and this is a spacer.
Okay, can we turn this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So start with
Okay.
these.
So this recalls the blue cow. And it also recalls some mornings that I've had at y'all's house where Dita had handmade granola. And she has her own recipe, and she would make up her granola. And so Dita eats granola on a blue plate, whether it's at the Blue Cow or her own kitchen. and this is definitely a Rex plate. So this stack of hot cakes and some bacon and some grits.
Grits.
You bet, grits.
Grits.
Okay, and then on the back side is teddy bear bread, because you send me almost every Christmas a picture of the gang. Well, not so much the people, but I've seen the people because y'all read Polar Express. And Dita makes teddy bear bread. And so the fan just goes along with the elaborate operatic costume.
Okay.
So it's just, I love this cantaloupe color. That's the color of that glaze. So bad.
Now, the pièce de résistance.
So that's Dita in full operatic gear. That's just what that is. And she is vocalizing and singing her heart out with happiness.
Now, can you let me walk around it.
And the rest, everything in back is just so that there can be a place for the rod to go up Dita's back. And I didn't want it coming out of her head because she's too small.
And what are these?
These are just operatic tendrils, whatever.
Okay.
They don't have any significance.
And how many pieces did it take to make these?
Well, there are lots of pieces. This is a piece, and this, and then this is where I started with her, and then I had to figure out how to make sturdy, less breakable pieces to make her proportionately correct. So, and then there's the rose.
What's the rose signify? Anything?
just what roses are. Beautiful and sweet. Adita's sweet. She really is. And I try to make her have really big bosoms because opera singers are supposed to do that. And Dita's figure is so trim. Dita still has the figure of a 16-year-old. Wonderful. So there's Dita, another filler, and just another filler down there. And then there's this. And I even met Peekaboo one time because you had that room plastered with, you had it lined with plastic. Didn't you have like thick milled plastic sheeting in a room that was owned by Peekaboo?
I don't remember.
Oh, really? I need some kind of confirmation on that memory because I met Peekaboo a long time ago, but I thought he had his own room at the top of the stairs, and it was floor to ceiling plastic.
Really?
Did I make that up?
I don't know.
Rex. Okay, so there's Peekaboo, and I made him kind of a cartoon character. And there's Rex with a typical Rex. This is a typical expression of yours. It's, I'm enjoying the moment, and I'm also indulging you, but I'm indulging myself at the same time. So that's you. You have really genuine looks of love that you send out. So that's just something to keep you from being on the ground. And Wally made the post 6x6. We stained it because it just looked raw. And Wally made it so that it probably won't tip, especially if you put it in a corner of something, if you can get away with that. That covenant. That's it. That is the significance.
Martha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This is for my dear friends.